The 2K Sports Pregame Show.
Here we are with Kenny the Jet Smith and the Big Diesel, Shaquille O'Neal, Ernie Johnson. You're watching the NBA on 2K Sports. Tonight, we'll see the Boston Celtics playing against the Cleveland Cavaliers. For the Cavaliers, the talk has been that they don't want to play with caution tonight. They want to let it all hang out.
It's the home of the Celtics here in Boston as 2K Sports brings you today's action live. Thanks for tuning in, everyone, to this broadcast of NBA basketball on 2K Sports. This is Kevin Harlan. We've got Steve. And before we get going, let's hear... Well, great to hear that, DA. Thank you. Thomas plays with real passion. You can tell he loves playing the game. Well, Smitty, we have a fantastic matchup between two of the top centers in the league right in front of us here. It's a throwback to an era of an earlier time when big men were dominant in this league.
Kevin, I remember those days when you just sat down, you wanted to see Shaq versus Ewing, Hakeem versus David Robinson. Those were fun. Yes, as a guard, we had matchups, but you know that was different. Those were the big men battling.
Yes.
I miss those days.
I do too. All fueled up and ready to go. Let's check out who's on the floor, courtesy of Gatorade. On the court for Cleveland, LeBron and Love are the deadly forward pair. Thomas and Smith teaming up in the backcourt. And it's Thompson in at the center, locking down the middle. The first free throw is good.
Well, you talk about scores in the NBA, Kyrie Irving is right up there. With his ball handling and shot-making ability, he can dazzle you.
And that's good as he hits both of his shots. And Kyrie's creativity, hitting jumpers off the dribble, finishing around the rim. What a great handle. It makes him special to watch.
I totally agree. His dribbling ability and finishing around the rim with either left or right, he is so skilled. He makes highlights every time he touches the ball. I call him the bus driver.
Oh, I like that, the bus driver. I like that, Smitty. Good one. So many things you could single out about the game of LeBron James, but Steve, his finishing is absolutely amazing.
I totally agree. A guy that can go both ways with both hands, not just a dunker. He has great touch around the rim, the ability to play through contact. He has collected more and ones over his career than any of his contemporaries.
On defense, Cleveland. Irving with it over Thomas, and the shot is good, dropping in off the front of the rim.
Absolutely fearless Kyrie. You have to do more than just get a hand in his face.
And it's James missing.
And that was an easy one there, just a missed opportunity.
If you give it to him, he'll take that shot every time down the floor. I'm sure he's kicking himself.
And you look at what Marcus Morris gives you, and it isn't going to jump out on the stat sheet, but Steve, he gets so many minutes because of things that just don't show up in numbers that you can really look at and feel.
You know, he's a floor spacer, and he fits well into the system they're running. What he gives you goes beyond the box score.
And free throw good from Morris.
Yeah, and of course, Marcus with a twin brother, Markieff, went to college together, played in the pros together. You'll have a hard time finding a closer pair of siblings. And the Celtics leadership, very pragmatic. IT and Crowder both beloved in Boston, but they didn't hesitate to move them to get better and younger at the same time.
The shot's good from Love.
His coaches used to tell him not to shoot threes. Those days are gone for Kevin Love.
Morris with a screen on Smith. Nobody near Irving. Good, and Smart gets the assist. 7 points for Kyrie Irving.
And thinking about the Celtics' choice to get younger, perhaps a strategic move in response to the super team in Golden State, they want to construct their team to peak in a few years when the Warriors start to show a little chink in the armor moving forward.
Horford sets a screen for Irving. And another basket for Boston.
The quickness of Kyrie off the pick makes him hard to stick with defensively.
Here's Smith. The screen from Thompson. Just 5 to shoot. Thomas, it's a wide open look. And another 3 for Cleveland.
You can see there the defender allows himself to get picked.
You know, it's all about effort. Sometimes you're going to get hit on hard screens. You just have to fight through them.
What a performance for Kyrie Irving. He has been the story for the Boston Celtics. He finishes with 9 points in the quarter. The D is having all sorts of problems with him. Back to the action after this word. And a chance to hear from LeBron James as he talked about the challenge of remaining calm and collected throughout the ups and downs of the NBA season.
For me, at a younger age, I was never even keel. We would win a playoff game when I was younger. I was excited out of my mind, and then you would lose, and I was the worst person in the world. But I think at this point in my career, I kind of stay even.
Again, just another part of the maturation process for LeBron. He's become such the consummate pro.
He is absolutely as solid and steady as a rock at this point in his career. Nothing rattles him. Nothing throws him off his game.
Well, up to this point, a closely contested game as we start the second quarter. When you consider how the Celtics are doing, guys, what jumps out to you stats-wise?
They're just very aggressive on the offensive side of the ball, attacking the rim in this first quarter. A lot of trips to the free throw line.
The momentum in this game is all theirs right now. The defense can't seem to stay in front of them, and they're going to continue to exploit that weakness.
Kyrie Irving is out there with Rozier. Then there's Brown. Then it's Aaron Baines. And it's Tatum in at the 4. That's the 5 to begin the second quarter for the Celtics. Irving for 3, and the Celtics hit again from deep.
And when they've gone to him, he has come through big time. You got to keep getting him touches.
They set the pick. Korver dishes to Thompson. Here's Rose. Makes it off the glass. Rose has got 6 points.
It's amazing. He is on fire here in the second period after going scoreless in the first.
Here's Tatum. The shot's good. Brown making the play. Tatum's got the lead up to 3 now for the Celtics.
And Tatum's become a reliable outside shooter and has a good-looking stroke from deep.
7-second difference, shot and game clock. Korver, no luck. Here's Rozier, guarded by Korver. Rozier kicks to Baines. That's tipped. Shumpert with the steal. Korver. And the first half comes to a conclusion in a game that has been very close so far. Thanks so much, Dave, for the great interview. Don't go away, folks. We'll be back for the second.
And now, the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Hello, folks. Welcome back. Ernie Johnson here with Shaquille O'Neal. Boston found themselves in a close game in the first. Nothing seemed to give way on either side of the scoring column as they wrapped up the period all knotted up. If you look at the second quarter scoring, they had a small edge. They really hung tough as we got close to halftime. Kenny, what's your take on Boston so far?
They were really efficient on offense. Shared the basketball well, great shot selection. That accounted for a high field goal percentage in the first half.
Looking at Cleveland, Jack, your thoughts?
They did some good things, but not enough. They need to start being more assertive. Go harder to the rim. Generate some free throw opportunities at the very least. Do something.
And that is just about...
And as we return, we get a look at the Boston skyline. Those drone cameras are really something. We have a close ball game on our hands as we get set for the second half of basketball. You look at Kyrie Irving in this game, he has been everywhere.
They're scoring consistently from range. He really lit it up there in the first half.
Yeah, the defense has to adjust, extend out to him in the second half, and that could create a lot of floor spacing.
And now the start of the second half. Neither side jumping out ahead through the first 2 quarters. And so here's Cleveland. It's a 3-point game.
And this Cavs payroll last season, I mean, the highest in NBA history with luxury tax penalties in the tens of millions. And we saw some friction as they looked to control salary, and LeBron pushed them to add more talent.
So on the floor for Cleveland, Thomas and Smith teaming up in the backcourt. The 2 stars, LeBron and Love, making up the forward positions. And it's Thompson in at the pivot spot, manning the middle. Irving passes to Horford. Good, and the assist goes to Irving. And the Cavaliers were able to add some key veteran help at the trade deadline.
Yeah, some key contributors they were able to get off of waivers as well. That's how the rich get richer. But with LeBron talking about the team being top-heavy, they needed to add some depth.
And keeping us updated from the sideline, let's swing it over to David Aldridge.
Guys, the league may have never seen a player with more control on and off the court than LeBron James. He is a superstar, a playmaker, a coach on the floor. Some say he's the GM. He even has a stake in a player agent business. LeBron says it's his dream to one day own an NBA team. Well, he's certainly getting some practice. Kevin?
No question about it, David. He's well on his way. As important a player as we've ever seen in basketball. And Steve, so many star players get credit for their offensive game. LeBron James is just as much a factor on the other end of the floor at the defensive end.
Yeah, on that end, he's incredibly versatile. He can guard 1 through 5. He said that his chase down block of Iguodala in the 2016 finals was the defining play of his career. Obviously, he takes tremendous pride in his defensive game.
No good on the free throw.
You know he's a perennial all-NBA first-teamer, but LeBron is also one of the league's top spokesmen.
And some changes here for the Celtics. Tatum, he's checked in for Hayward. Brown comes in for Smart. And Terry Rozier subbed in for Irving. And then for Cleveland, Korver comes in for J.R. Smith. And it's Rose in for Isaiah Thomas.
And you look back to that Big Three era in Boston, you know, the Celtics have not been shy about aggressively trading to reshape this roster. You know, they've made a rapid rebuild that's really the envy of a lot of teams around our league.
Crowder against Morris. 6 to shoot. Fades. That's it, and the Celtic lead is cut down to 7 on the bucket from Crowder.
Fantastic defense there, but he somehow still got the fadeaway jumper to go.
They set the pick. Rozier kicks to Tatum. Morris dishes to Horford. And the Celtics hit again from deep.
Another triple, and that's been the story of this second half.
Coming out of the break, they've relied on their perimeter offense to generate points. Right now, it's working.
Well, through 3 quarters of play, down double digits, it may be difficult to overcome. Boston on top, leading by 10. And time to step aside quickly, but we'll be back in no time with the start of the 4th quarter. Now let's listen into the huddle of Brad Stevens.
Hey, defense at the start of the quarter and the end of the quarter has been really good. Okay? It's been really good. Offensively, let's just keep...
As calm as he can be, Brad Stevens did have one specific message. Don't hold the basketball, guys.
Yeah, I mean, that's the one thing that will kill your offense. If you don't have a good look, move the ball. Maybe someone else does.
Hello, and thanks for joining us, folks. The 4th quarter of play getting started. Morris is out there with Horford. Then there's Brown. Then there's Smart, and it's Baines in at the 5, roaming the paint. That's the Boston 5. And the Cavaliers call time here. They trail by 12. And there's a minute 45 left in the game. Checked in for the Celtics. Kyrie Irving comes in for Jaylen Brown. And then for Cleveland, Tristan Thompson, he's checked in for Crowder. Smith comes in for Kyle Korver. And Thomas subbed in for Rose. And J.R. Smith picks up the foul. That's his first foul.
You know what? Tried to step in and cut him off, but just didn't get there quick enough.
Now Smart. Picked by Horford. Smart kicks to Irving. Gets it to go from beyond the arc.
And guys, what we saw here tonight is one side having everything going for them. Huge margin of victory for the Celtics.
Tonight, they seem committed to the three-point shot.
That was the bread and butter. Fortunately, they made enough of those, but sometimes it was quantity over quality.
And one of the key components to this victory, if not the biggest, was the incredible performance for Kyrie Irving.
You know, coming into tonight, hard to say if his intention was to take over the way he did, but as the game evolved, it became clear that he was an alpha dog on the offensive end.
Basket counts, and the Celtics lead by 15.
And this is the kind of deficit it would take a miracle to overcome.
I think this hometown crowd agrees with you. They are fired up about it.
It's good.
And this run may make the score look a little more acceptable, but still a loss.
They could never put it together when it mattered. Just let too many opportunities slip through their fingers.
Morris with a screen on Love. Irving with the ball. Now Thomas defending. Morris no good. Cleveland with the ball. Lets it go from deep. The putback controls the rebound and puts it back up and in.
The unbelievable effort. Thompson, a dedicated warrior on the offensive glass.
And here's Irving. And so it's Boston easily grabbing this one. Even early on in this one, it seemed like they were happy to be playing at home tonight.
And it makes a big difference. And once they started to really play in rhythm, you never felt like they had any doubts as to whether or not they were going to win.
And now let's catch up with David Aldridge, who's standing by from the sideline. All right, Dave.
Thanks very much, Kyrie. Nice win tonight. What was your thought process coming into the game?
I was just going out there trying to compete on every play, trying to play as much defense as possible. Just sticking to our game plan. We had a game plan going in and we executed.
Got it done at both ends of the floor, Kyrie. Thanks very much. Back to you, Kevin.
Thank you, David. Great interview once again. And that'll do it, folks. For David Aldridge, Greg Anthony, and Steve Smith, and the rest of our terrific 2K Sports crew, this is Kevin Harlan saying thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Have a great evening.